either away, going away. They got out the grill, the gloves. They got the sauce. But the world keeps going on. The corruption continues to become more gargantuan like a snowball under Obama than ever. While you sleep, I can guarantee you he gave away another $1 billion. Welcome to the Savage Nation. For example, he's at a G8 conference of those who run the world's finances, and they said they want to give $40 billion for the Arab Spring. Now, first of all, there is no Arab Spring. It's a Muslim Brotherhood spring. That's number one. In fact, we have a new story that we just found that there is a Nazi party forming in Egypt right now. Now, we don't know whether the money for the Arab Spring will trickle down to the Nazi party. You got to understand that it's an Arab Spring. That's what Hillary Clinton says. It's an Arab Spring, therefore it is an Arab Spring. But to me, the biggest story, hello, this is the Savage Nation, if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's a radio show. Here you have a tornado that hits Missouri last Sunday. The death toll is at 132. The number is expected to rise slowly as more debris is cleared, and Obama is partying in Europe. Michelle is wearing a $2,000 gown, while the new princess of England is wearing a $300 dress. That's because you understand a Marxist has to dress better than her counterparts in order to show that they're down with the people. But let's put aside Michelle's bad taste in party dresses. Let us ask ourselves, why is Obama ignoring this disaster? I thought about this, and I'm going to take a risk here. And I have to start by asking you this question. Those of you who are brainwashed and think Obama really is a good man who cares about the little guy. Let us say Katrina hit, and George Bush was in England, downing a Guinness in Ireland, and he was in England partying. Then he goes to France and eats snails, and he won't come home for Katrina. Now, you remember during Katrina, don't you, when every whack job left-wing filmmaker, demagogue was screaming that Bush blew up the levees. You remember that? Not only was Bush considered the villain, but they said the white man blew up the levees in New Orleans in order to punish black people. So everywhere you turn, there was racism with regard to Katrina. So given that that's the mindset of the illegitimate leftists, the left-eye illegitimi, let me ask you a question. Do you think there's a racial element in Obama and the media ignoring the disaster in Joplin, Missouri? Now, why do I say that? Because the disaster has primarily hit poor white people. Moreover, it's a red state, meaning it's largely a conservative. It's the Bible Belt, and they're largely poor whites. And that's why you don't see the vermin in the media covering it. Instead, they'll cover Rudy Giuliani. And what's funny about Rudy Giuliani throwing his pat in the ring, this is what's odd about Giuliani. You know he can't win. I told you last time he did this, west of the Hudson River, he's detested. The only people like Rudy Giuliani are Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck. But let's put that aside, okay? Let me ask you something. I'm going to ask you a simple question. Why is Rudy Giuliani throwing his pat in the ring? Why? For publicity. It helps him gain prestige. When he goes into an Italian restaurant, he gets a double order of whatever he orders on the house because he ran for the presidency again. He keeps himself relevant. But the fact of the matter is he can't win. And what's strange about it, the vermin in the media who won't cover the disaster in Missouri are saying that they ran a poll and they say he's the highest ranking guy in the poll. Now, why would CNN want him to run? Because they know he can't win against Obama. Any other questions? Don't you understand how the game is played? You have a government under Obama, then you have a media that works for Obama, which is called the government media complex. You have, in other words, the equivalent of the ex-Soviet Union, where you had Pravda, the state newspapers, the state television bureau, all under the control of the KGB. It's the same under Obama. Never did they criticize him or Michelle. $2,000 dress, disaster in Joplin, Missouri, and he's not here. Now, I have to ask you something else. Here's something that I really want to ask you, but I'm not going to ask you yet because I've asked you too many things already, and you forgot already what I asked you, and it's rocking. You know, actually, I'm glad he's out of the country. I actually hope Obama stays away for another year. Can he possibly continue his world tour? Wasn't there a movie Around the World in 80 Days? I would think that we'd have a better life if Obama stayed on the road for at least 8 months. Let him drink Guinness in England. Let him go to France and eat snails. Let him go to Germany and eat kielbasa. It's good. Do you realize that there's less social engineering with the Marxists gone? And there's less egg rolling and less lecturing from Michelle about eating carrots while she stuffs her face with whatever she's eating, fatty foods and ice cream? How much can you take of this big lie? And you say, well, all right, this theatrical savage, you don't really mean this. No, I don't really mean it. No, it's done for effect, of course. So somebody at Newsmax, Steve Carr, says to me, do you have a comment on Jeff Kuhner's great article about you? And I said, no, here's a comment. Here it is. I wrote a one. He said, give us a one-paragraph comment. So I sent this to Newsmax this morning, and I said, why, Obama is not doing nothing. He is disgracing the office of the presidency, disgracing America's standing in the world, and partying across Europe. Now, it may be that Joplin is underwater, but he's not Bush. Therefore, his ignoring the deaths and destruction at home so he can sip $1,000 wine while Michelle wears $2,000 dresses is not at all embarrassing or a sign of negligence. Soon, Big Daddy will be home to make a short detour to Joplin. After forgiving Egypt $1 billion in debt, $1 billion for the Muslim Brotherhood, he'll toss a few bills to the peasants in Missouri from Air Force One and depart for D.C. where he can get on with his Leninist agenda. Signed, Michael Savage. So this is what I sent this morning. You say, well, how can you get so excited over things you can't control? I don't know. How can I get so excited? It agitates me. So on that pleasant note, it is Rock and Roll Friday on the Savage Nation. While others' ratings are crumbling, mine are actually growing. All of the people you've come to love and talk radio, their ratings have collapsed by 30, 35%. And mine have gone down slightly in some areas, but up in others. And you know what they found out in analyzing it? I don't know what they found out. I have no idea why. Why are my ratings going up while the Republican hacks' ratings are going down? You want to make that a topic? Why have you decided to start listening to Michael Savage more intently? Why? I mean, why? I know the reason. I know the reason. The reason is quite simple, because I'm not a Republican front man. I'm not a Republican hack. I don't carry the ball for the Republican Party. Although, don't get me wrong, I'd vote for any Republican over the communist. I'll tell you that right now. I'd even vote for You Betcha. I've never been a You Betcha fan. No, sir. No, sir. I've not been a You Betcha fan. But if she's the only one out there with the you-know-whats to run against the commie, I'd vote for her. You betcha. I'll be right back.